Natty or nots are silly and ridiculous. I despise natty or not drama, but I potentially got myself into a slimy situation for trying to be a good person. Now the information I gave out is being twisted. A little over a week ago, I reached out to Jeff and Greg because I felt bad for all the hate they were getting over Hussein's natty status. Natty status drama is overblown and silly, and I've had a few conversations with Jeff and Greg, and I think they're nice guys. All I wanted to do is provide some potential insight on the situation to help ameliorate the drama. Basically, there exists subtle, frequent genetic mutations in the human population like MSTN K153R and actin N3 R577X that could make someone's newbie gains look unnatural even if they are truly natural. These genetic mutations are not so drastic that they cause jacked babies, but they do have an effect on how your body responds to a stimulus like lifting. After talking to Jeff and Greg about the impact of genetic mutations on natural muscle growth progress, I told them about genetic testing, and that was the end of the conversation. Not even a full week later, Hussein reaches out to me and asks me to make a 20 to 30 second long clip explaining genetic polymorphisms. I said okay. The video ended up being a minute and 37 seconds long, and I asked him to keep it all in, and he said he may not be able to, and assuming he was in good faith, I said that's okay. Now, as you can see by these screenshots, throughout the entire discourse I had with Hussein, I had absolutely no idea he was planning on outing himself as a fake natural, only to use genetic polymorphisms as his excuse for why he kept his muscle. The entire time I thought this was in response to the conversations I had with Jeff and Greg, and so the entire time I'm saying stuff like, man, I really hate natty or not drama, I'm sorry you got yourself into this. I genuinely thought they were potentially making a video on genetic variables and genetic testing. I had no idea they were going to use genetic polymorphisms as an excuse to get out of a fake natty situation. If I'd known any of this, I would not have made my clip because genetic polymorphisms do not work in the way they're describing. Unfortunately, I wake up to find that Hussein allegedly used gear at the beginning of his fitness journey and that genetic polymorphisms are why he kept his muscle. Again, keep in mind that this is not the context or how I explained the impact of genetic polymorphisms on growing muscle. Depending on whether a person is homozygous or heterozygous for a genetic polymorphism, they would grow slightly to significantly more muscle at the beginning of their fitness journey when they're experiencing newbie gains, and grow slightly and consistently more muscle afterwards. Now, everything I just explained was in the context that the person with a genetic polymorphism is natural and had nothing to do with the impact of gear. In fact, these genetic polymorphisms have not even been studied in gear users. Now, all that being said, I do have to say that all of this could very well be a publicity stunt, but regardless, I feel rather used in this situation because I was not made aware that any of this would occur.